Good morning. Well, today I decided to share my experience with you with real estate investment seminars. Um, Everyone knows that I do real estate, and actually, I started off like everyone else did by attending these free seminars or these free workshops, where during the free workshop they offer you a 3 day class. Well, when I went, the 3 day class was $2,000. That was back in the late 90s. Now here we are in 2016, 2017, and they're putting on their workshops and their 3 day seminars for $200. So recently, a friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, I paid for this 3 day seminar, and the person who's supposed to attend with me, for whatever reason, backed out. Will, are you available? Would you attend the seminar with me?" And I said, "Yes, I would." She said, "Because, with you being there, maybe you can disclose some information or explain to me some of the things that they're explaining that I might not understand when they explain it." So I agreed and I went. Seminar was for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This seminar was presented by fortune builders. And understand, I'm not saying anything negative about fortune builders because I don't want fortune builders sending me a letter or telling me that I defamated or defamed their business. That's not the purpose. Basically, I'm just telling you my experience that I had at the fortune builders. Um, Being there at fortune builders, I noticed a lot of similarities from when I attended the seminar, and it was for wealth builders then, Russ Whitney. And it seemed verbatim that this was the exact same seminar. And I'm watching the guy speak, and initially, the very first day, everybody's on stage and they introduce themselves. When they come off stage, they walk around the room and introduce themselves to the people in the room. And I'm pretty sure after you see this video, and if you share this video, that policy will change. The reason I say that is because when the guy introduced me, or introduced himself to me, I simply asked him, because everyone's standing around waiting to ask questions. I introduced myself. I said, "Hey, my name is William Allen. Currently, I own over 200 properties. I flip personally myself over 200 properties. Um, so let me ask you one question before we go forward with this. How many properties have you personally flipped yourself? Because you're here to sell me a program, a system that you're telling me is a proven system and the system's going to work for me. How many properties have you flipped yourself?" The guy turned and looked kind of nervous at me, and he turned and he says, "Hey, I can't answer that question. Policy doesn't allow me to answer that question." Well, it's public information. Anyone can pull and find out how many properties you flip. So that's why a person would not want to answer that question. You can do some research and find out if the information that they're giving you is accurate. People, stop being sold. Stop being sold. So, um, again, I'm attending this seminar, and I'm because I've been flipping properties and I've been doing this for 20 years now. I'm noticing some information that the instructor is giving, which is inaccurate. I live in Michigan, and this seminar went on in downtown Detroit, Michigan. And I watched this instructor tell people that they can go to the Secretary of State and form their business. For us, the Secretary of State is what is equivalent to New York as the DMV. You cannot go to the Secretary of State and form a business. You can't do it. They don't do businesses at the Secretary of State. There were other things that he informed the people that was misinformation. So I'm there Friday. I'm there Saturday. Come Sunday, because again, I've introduced myself. He's introduced me to every presenter there. He even introduced me to the instructor. Sunday, I'm sitting there, and the person who invited me, they didn't show up Sunday. So I decided to sit in the middle of the room, because normally she sat to the end of the room, closer to the door where we couldn't be seen. I sat in the middle of the room, and I'm looking at the instructor, and I'm watching this instructor present, and I'm just shaking my head like, that information there is incorrect. But I'm not saying nothing. I'm keeping it to myself. Now, mind you, when we came in, they gave everybody a name tag, which that policy might change as well. Young lady walks up to me right when we break for lunch, and she says, "Excuse me, William Allen. I don't know this young lady from Adam and Eve, and I honestly had forgotten that I had the name tag around my neck." She says, "William Allen, is it possible that I speak to you?" I said, "Well, give me one moment. I'm getting ready to go to lunch. I'm talking to this person. I'll meet you out in the hallway. We can talk out there." As soon as I said those words to the young lady, the instructor walked up and said, "Listen, you're network marketing in this room, and network marketing is not allowed. How about I give you a refund check? Matter of fact, someone go get the person who actually put on the seminar, which they went and retrieved her, and she came in. He says, "Listen, I just want to give these two guys, because there was another guy who was there who, I'm there, and every day me and this guy are eating lunch together. Me, him, and the young lady who brought me. We're eating lunch together and we're talking, as anybody else would do in the room." He said, "Give these two guys refunds." Mind you, I didn't pay to go anyway, so I don't know how you're going to give me a refund, but if you're going to pay me, I'll never turn down a good check. Never. So he's going, "Yeah, they're network marketing, they're passing out literature." And I'm like, "Who's passing out literature?" Yeah, I had intentions on passing out literature, but as I promised the instructor when she walked up to me, I'm not there to compromise anything that they were trying to do business-wise with anyone. So I'll wait. I can wait until the class is over, end of Sunday, when everything is done, and they sold packages for $55,000, $45,000, and $35,000 to the individuals who were buying their packages. And I can then pass out my literature at that point as we're leaving in the elevator. I'm not there to compromise their business. They actually gave me a check to leave. There it is. They didn't want me talking to people. So I say this to say, and honestly, this check, when you come to my office, will be hung in a frame. I will never cash this check. Quit being sold, people. They're willing to give me a refund. Now, mind you, right? They wrote refund on this check. You see it. Refund, event returned. I never even paid to go to it. I got a check for nothing because I was a threat. I was a threat, and that presenter was uncomfortable with me being in the room. You couldn't sell me on a system. First of all, when you're not the originator of the system, I tell everybody, I learned stuff going to seminars, and that's why I go. And I hadn't been to one of these seminars in over probably 10, maybe as much as 15 years. I stopped going. Well, I went to their seminar, Fortune Builders, and while everyone's sitting there, it's like, and I tell people, it's like a magician, okay? A magician could be doing something in this hand and doing something totally different in this hand, and then while you're focused on this hand, boom, that magic trick pops up in the other hand. And you're like, well, how did he do that? And in their seminar, they put on this presentation. And understand, whenever they put on a presentation, they tell you not to take pictures. All that stuff is copywritten. And really, if you know what you're looking for, you can find a lot of the information that they're trying to sell you for free. They were selling people on leads. They say, hey, listen, we supply leads. We give you, hold on. We give you buyers, cash sellers, all in one place. So I went and I did some research because I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the copyright for the company that they say to supply the leads. Well, I found that company. I found that company myself. where they get their leads from. It's the exact same format that he had up on the screen, saying this is where we get our leads from. We have buyer and seller lead generations, where it's already a website that's selling you this information. I've done research on this website. This website sells the information for $150 membership per month. So why would I pay $35,000 and as much as $55,000 for something that I can get for $150 a month? Well, we're part of a closed network. We have everything. We have your contracts, we have your attorneys, we have your CPAs, everything that you need. Well, if that's the case, and my question is to you guys, if you have all those things in place, why is it when I go to my Facebook account on my cell phone and I type in on the search line, and I'm going to show you guys my Facebook, okay? On the top line, I type in Fortune Builder. Mastery. Okay? As you can see, I just typed in Fortune Builders Mastery. Okay? And you can do this for yourself. Don't take my word for it. And now, the first things that come up is someone wrote 2 months ago, "Hey, thanks for the approval to join. I'm a Fortune Builders Mastery student, looking to expand my contacts and knowledge. Currently building my team. About to incorporate my business to be totally legit. I'm still active." Okay, that was nothing. Let's look further down. Someone else, second person, as you can see. And they wrote, "Looking for private money lenders to close out 2 deals. We joined Fortune Builders Mastery in May, and this would be our 3rd to 4th rehab properties and looking to secure a 5th by the end," and let's tap on it, "by the end of this month. Building a pipeline in Baltimore, Maryland for 2017. Here's the deal. Both properties located in Patterson Park area in Baltimore." And they list their deals. Okay? If I'm buying a system for $35,000, $45,000, $55,000, they're supposed to already have my investors in place. They're supposed to have my cash buyer in place, to have my renter in place. Why am I advertising on Facebook? Please, somebody tell me the answer to that. Why would they be posting this stuff on Facebook, looking for a private money lender, someone to fund their deal? So, with that being said, hey, I'm going to give you the office, my phone number here at my office. I have some private money lenders that will fund deals depending on the deal. The number to my office is 248-436-3440. I'm not here to sell you a mastery program. I'm not here to sell you a service. If real estate investing is what you want to get into and that's where your heart is, because that's where my heart is, let's talk. I'm pretty sure we can come up with something where we can work together. I can get some of your deals funded, depending on the deal, and even partner up with you. So think about it again. My name is William Allen, and you can call me at 248-436-3440. Have a wonderful day. Fortune Builders, hey, thank you for the check. It's beautiful. I'll keep it though.